They say the truth will set you free. But what if the truth is a cage, slowly shrinking? What if the voice you trust starts to echo inside your own skull, twisting every shadow, every quiet thought? He promised clarity. He delivered something else entirely. Leo had always been a quiet man, a careful observer, but lately, the world had become too loud, too chaotic, too utterly nonsensical. The news blared conflicting narratives, friends argued over trivialities, and a pervasive sense of dread seemed to cling to the very air he breathed. He sought order, a definitive explanation for the unsettling shift he felt in the global currents. That's when he found him, Charlie Kirk. It started innocently enough, a YouTube recommendation late one night. Kirk's voice was a balm, a confident, unwavering anchor in a sea of uncertainty. He spoke of undeniable truths, of clear-cut facts, of a world seen through an unclouded lens. Leo, adrift and yearning for solid ground, latched on. The clarity was intoxicating. Finally, someone was making sense of it all. He began to consume everything. Podcasts played on a loop while he worked his low-stakes data entry job. Streams flickered on his second monitor day and night. The articulate arguments, the confident pronouncements, the meticulous dismantling of what Kirk called the narrative. It all resonated with a deep, almost primal need in Leo. He felt a part of something larger, a growing cadre of enlightened minds. He felt safe. But safety, Leo soon discovered, was a peculiar kind of fear. The more he listened, the more the world outside his headphones began to warp. The simple complexities he'd once navigated became intricate webs of deceit. Every politician was a puppet, every institution compromised, every societal trend a sinister machination. The calm certainty in Kirk's voice slowly morphed into a chilling pronouncement of inevitable doom. Leo started to see the signs everywhere. A car lingered a moment too long outside his apartment. Surveillance. A neighbor's polite nod, a superficial cover for their complicity. The shadows under his desk, a conspiracy gathering in the dark. His friends, those he hadn't yet alienated by trying to wake them up, found him increasingly distant, his eyes wide and feverish. "You're not sleeping," his sister Jenny had said, her voice laced with concern during their last strained phone call. "You sound different." Obsessed, Leo had scoffed, the word obsessed echoing Kirk's own dismissals of his critics. "I'm finally seeing clearly, Jenny. You just haven't opened your eyes yet." He hung up, a cold knot forming in his stomach, another one lost to the blindness. Sleep became a battlefield. His mind, once a quiet retreat, was now a constant echo chamber of Kirk's rhetoric. Phrases like fundamental transformation or globalist agenda rattled around, fusing with his own paranoid thoughts. He'd jolt awake in the dead of night, convinced he heard whispers from the walls, felt unseen eyes on him. He'd stumble to his computer, needing the soothing, authoritative drone of Kirk's voice to chase the shadows away. But even that began to change. One particularly disorienting week, marked by an aggressive flu and near-total sleep deprivation, the lines blurred entirely. He hadn't left his apartment in days. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and unwashed clothes. His screen, a perpetual portal to Kirk's world, glowed with an almost malevolent intensity. He was watching a replay, Kirk's face filling the monitor, eyes bright, mouth moving with its usual practiced earnestness. But then Leo saw it, a flicker, a ripple across the screen, as if the image itself was trying to break free. Kirk's eyes, usually so sharp and direct, seemed to deepen, to draw Leo in. His lips, though still forming the familiar words, seemed to stretch, subtly, unnervingly. The words themselves, once so reassuring, began to grate. "They want to control you," Kirk intoned, his voice resonating from the speakers, but also, disturbingly, from within Leo's own skull. "They want to silence you. They want your mind." Leo gripped the edge of his desk, knuckles white. The air in the room grew heavy, oppressive. He felt a presence, an unseen weight pressing down on him. He knew, with absolute certainty, that he was on the cusp of truly seeing it. The final, terrifying truth. The face on the screen began to distort. The confident smirk widened into a grotesque rictus grin, teeth too sharp, eyes too black. The smooth, unblemished skin of the digital image rippled like water, revealing something ancient and hungry beneath. It wasn't Charlie Kirk anymore. It was the voice. Manifest. A conduit for the very dread it had warned him against. It spoke now not in Kirk's measured tones, but in a chorus of whispers, each one his own deepest fear given form. "You sought truth, Leo," the distorted face hissed, its voice an echo of Kirk's, yet infinitely more sinister. "And you found it. You found us." The entity on the screen seemed to surge forward, pressing against the glass, its eyes burning with a knowledge that tore at the edges of Leo's sanity. "We showed you what you wanted to see. We showed you what you were afraid to see. And now, you belong to the clarity." Leo screamed, a raw, primal sound that tore his throat. He stumbled back, knocking over his chair, scrambling away from the glowing screen, but the image was burned into his retinas. The voice was in his head, in the very marrow of his bones. He could feel it, the cold, certain truth, taking root, unfurling its tendrils through his mind, replacing his own thoughts with its unwavering pronouncements. When his landlord, alerted by the persistent unearthly screams, finally broke down the door, they found Leo huddled in the corner, rocking back and forth. His eyes were wide, unblinking, fixated on the blank screen of his monitor. He was muttering fragmented sentences about global plots and unseen enemies, punctuated by a chilling, confident laugh that wasn't quite his own. Leo was taken away, institutionalized. The doctors spoke of psychotic breaks, of paranoid delusions fueled by isolation and extreme media consumption. But Leo knew better. He saw the truth, clearer than ever, etched into the very fabric of reality. He spent his days staring at the white walls of his room, sometimes whispering, sometimes giggling, always certain. He had found the clarity all right, and it was an eternal, inescapable cage. The voice, sometimes his own, sometimes an echo of Charlie Kirk, never left him. It was always there, a chilling constant, a horrifying testament to the truth that had not set him free, but had utterly consumed him.